Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at Peter's vision in Acts 10, and we're going to be kind of walking through and discussing some different viewpoints on it. And then on the back half of our time together today, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on it. Which side do I kind of tend to lean more towards? What do I think the vision was about? And then presenting some evidence to kind of back that up, and then wrapping things up from there. So without a further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So the one of the viewpoints that's been gathered from Peter's vision in Acts 10, supported by Professor Sloan, is that the vision wasn't really about the food laws, but it was more so about the Gentiles being included in the gospel promise. That this isn't to say that there's no implications on the food laws, but that the main point of it is the Gentiles being included in salvation. On the other hand, with the commentary that's in Canvas, the commentary seems to emphasize that this was more so about the law, about the food laws, right? That this is really the conclusion. This is quoted from the commentary, is that Peter's vision had only related to unclean foods, but the symbolism implies that all are God's creatures, all are declared clean. The old purity laws could no longer separate Jew from Gentile. So the commentary is about the old law that kind of separated the nations from Israel, that this vision was about declaring that that's no longer the case, right? So after reading the text, looking at both sides, analyzing the text itself, I'm going to side with the first one, with Professor Sloan on this, that this vision was more so about including the Gentiles in the gospel promise. Now, two really key pieces of evidence that I came across to kind of note this and back this up. Evidence piece number one is the main point of Acts. Like, main idea of the whole book is the gospel witness going out to all nations. Going out to all nations, right? When we look at the verses of where this main idea comes from, verses like the Great Commission, right? Go and make disciples of all nations, not just the nation of Israel, all nations. Acts chapter 1, verse 8, you will be my witnesses in Judea and Samaria, primarily not a Jewish part of town, and to the ends of the earth, right? Implying, hey, this is going out to everywhere. So if that's the main idea of Acts, and up until this point in the story, with the witness really only being to the Jews, then this vision can serve as the wake-up call to Peter, the apostles, and the Christians that, hey, this is going out to the Gentiles as well. That this would run very, very well in line with the main idea of Acts. So those things kind of fit together. That's evidence piece number one, is that the main idea of Acts supports this interpretation. Evidence piece number two is what Peter emphasizes when he's kind of working through this, what does this vision mean? What does it not mean? What Peter emphasizes would back up this this interpretation, right? So after Peter has the vision, he goes to Cornelius's house, and where Cornelius's family is there as well, and Peter kind of gives them this sermon. He teaches them, whatever you want to call it. And what Peter emphasizes in this dialogue is going to emphasize that everyone is included in this gospel promise. He says things like, God does not show favoritism. Every nation who fears him and does what is right is acceptable to him. That God is Lord over all. And then verse 43 of chapter 10, the just cherry on top, says, everyone who believes in him receives forgiveness of sins. And so after Peter goes to Cornelius' house, he kind of goes back and he's debriefing with the apostles. And their conclusion, this is verse 18 of chapter 11, is that God has given repentance resulting in life even to the Gentiles. So what the emphasis seems to be on in Peter's sermon, in their conclusion, is that the Gentiles are in this promise, that everyone is available to be in this promise, not just Israel, not just the Jews, but everyone, right? This isn't to say that this vision is not, like, there's no implications on the food laws about the Mosaic law, right? Because I think there genuinely is some implications on this. Paul kind of irons these things out in Romans and in Galatians and other letters as well. But the larger main idea of this vision, what it seems to be, is to show Peter, show the apostles, wake them up to this truth that, hey, the Gentiles are in on this. The Gentiles are included in the promise of Christ. There's no distinction. everyone is included on this promise. Now, that's just what I think. Feel free to disagree. Feel free to agree as well. But I think what this vision seems to be about is including the Gentiles in the gospel promise. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.